Hello guys, I'm back and I'm going to be doing an advanced rigging tutorial for Clone Wars Adventures assets. This tutorial will cover wear bones, otherwise known as clothing lengths. So to get started, we're going to just normally bind our skeleton to the mesh like what we normally do. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. And then after that, we'll get started. Okay, so first thing to cover is some of the tools we're going to be using. So you have your standard weight tool to apply weight. And then you have a new tool. This is, let me pull up the tool name. It's called Paint Through mode, which basically allows you to paint through vertices. So if I paint the front of this, it'll also, or it should also weight the back of it, this leg. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's a little finicky, but we're essentially going to be using this tool to get any vertices, and as you can see in this case, it painted through the vertices here. But we're going, basically, what the name implies is we're going to be able to paint through vertices through the mesh. Let me just undo that. And then you can turn it on by just clicking this again. And as you can see, my cursor turns red. Turn it off, it's white. And the last tool we're going to be using is called Vertex Select. This allows me to pick out vertices. And as you can see, whatever vertice I select, and I'm just clicking and dragging, by the way, it selects the vertices. And then I'm able to press this button right here called Hide Vertices, and it will hide these vertices. And as you can see, it exposes some of the clothing lengths. So let's get started. So let me actually just deselect these vertices. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go over to knee wear 2. So left knee wear 2. And left knee wear 2 weights to the very bottom of the pant leg. So it will weight to all of this here. So we're going to quickly weight paint that. Oops, my bad. I got a little bit of weight on the pant leg. And then after this, we're going to move on to knee wear 1. And this weighting process should be a little straightforward. I call it an advanced tutorial because obviously you're using more tools than you would otherwise, and this is a good example of when to use the go through vertices, because as you saw, I was trying to get this vertice, but I couldn't. Use that tool, automatically weights it. So let me just quickly finish this up here so we can move on to the next step. Okay, and after some fine-tuning, you should get something along the lines of this. So if I go ahead and rotate this back, you'll see there's a separate clothing length. And this is perfectly fine. You can just rotate this back. Or preferably, just so you don't get any vertices in your way, we're going to disable this mesh using our pointer. So let's select these vertices. And then obviously hold Control while you're doing this so you can select multiple groups of vertices. And then let's press this. And as you can see, let's get the bottom here and get the back. And it's okay if you get some of the other pant leg because we're going to be re-enabling these vertices, so it's no big deal. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to actually accidentally click on this part of the mesh. You only want to click on the outer pant leg. Okay, so now that's completely hidden. We're going to click on knee wear, and we're just going to go out of pointer mode and back into weight paint mode. And we're going to weight knee wear 1. So this process also shouldn't take too long. It can get a little tricky to get a lot of these vertices up here, for example, but this process should be pretty straightforward. So just follow along and you'll be fine. Alright, we're almost done with knee wear 1. So now if I rotate this back, we have the regular knee. So just like before, we're going to select knee wear, go to pointer mode, and select these vertices to disable them. Let's hide this, and hide these last couple vertices. One more. Oops, excuse me. Okay, perfect. Now we're just going to go to our knee, and what do you know? Weight paint already did most of this process for us. So we're going to touch this up a bit because this looks a little weird. So let's go to our full weight paint mode. Excuse me. Let's actually deselect these vertices that's selected. And let's go to our full weight paint mode. And weight paint that real quick. And then as you can see, if I rotate this knee, it looks a little funky, but that's because we're going to want to weight this to the knee. And then, there we go. That looks, oh, excuse me, we have a little bit of unweighted vertices through here. And you can also use full weight paint mode like this, so watch if I go through there, bam. So here we have it. Let's just select this too, and then that. Here is our knee. So now if I press this button again to show the vertices, well, the clothing will come back and we'll be good to go. And don't worry about that right there. Let me just fix that up real quick. Oops. Deselect these vertices here. Just so we can get a nice and evenly mirrored mesh, I'm just going to weight these vertices where the knee was accidentally weighted. Okay, cool. We're good. So now if I rotate the knee, it should look pretty normal. And then if I go ahead and rotate knee wear, there we go. And then if I go ahead and weight knee wear 2, or move knee wear 2, it should also look pretty normal. So one thing with the regular knee wear is that in this case I actually want to weight the front of this just so it doesn't stick out as much. So let me actually just fix this up real quick, and then we should be good to go. Okay, that actually, let me get this one vertex in here. Okay, there we go. Now that looks better. So now as you can see, this clothing length will disable upon importing it in Unity. I may have missed a vertex or two there, but you get the idea. So now if you look, this clothing length will disable when imported into Unity. This clothing length will disable when imported into Unity, and all you'll be left with is the regular knee, and they all follow the knee bone. Now we'll be good to mirror this, and actually let me just, I actually need to, this became detached, the knee, there we go. Okay, so now what we can do is we can just mirror our weights like we normally do. And it should look exactly the same. And yep, that's good to go. All the legs are done. The right hip and the left hip, you're going to weight like normal. the pelvis, you're going to weight like normal. The lower spine, you're going to weight like normal, along with the upper spine. I'm not going to be covering this in this tutorial because I have already covered that in my previous one, but you will just do that like you normally would. If you're struggling at all on how to weight an upper spine or the lower spine or the pelvis, just go see my previous tutorial. I cover everything there. Moving on to the arms. This is a little more tricky, but it follows the exact same fashion. Let's go to our right arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to right forearm wear. And so here's our right forearm. We're not going to weight this part to the forearm bone. We're going to weight this to right forearm wear. So we're going to weight all of this to forearm wear. And as I'm weighting, I'm just making sure I weight it on both sides and that it's evenly weighted with 100% weight across the entire mesh. So in order to check where we're at with the mesh, it looks like, okay, that's good. Now let's disable this like we did last time. Remember holding control to make sure you select all the proper vertices. If you really want to be fast, which I don't really recommend because it's better to take your time, you can select the go through vertice mode as well to select all the vertices even faster. And then you can disable all of them at once. So now, after we finish forearm wear, we're going to move into elbow wear. And excuse me while I enter or disable select mode. Now we're just going to weight the elbow wear. And while I'm weighting the elbow wear, you want to make sure you don't weight this inner ring. That's what's going to be weighted to the elbow. So we want to be pretty careful on what we're weighting here, because we don't want to weight too much to where it clips through and intersects with the elbow weight, but we don't want to weight too little to where not enough is disabled within Unity. So if you weight it properly, it should look something like this. So now if I disable that, we will get just the elbow. And then remember, if you're concerned about this right here, this outer ring, this will also be disabled because this is weighted by forearm wear. So just to give you more context of what will actually be disabled, I can just disable this really quick. Okay. And then now, if I click on elbow wear, this is what we're going to be weighting. Only this, just so it looks like that. So now if I disable this, now if I disable elbow wear, excuse me, 1 second, there we go. Now if I disable elbow wear, that last inner circle will be weighted to, you guessed it, the elbow bone. Like I said, this process is very straightforward. And actually, if you notice, I did mess up a little bit here. All of this should be weighted to the elbow. That may have just been an issue with the auto weight feature, but this should be weighted to the elbow. It may have been weighted to the shoulder by accident, but if I quickly weight this elbow, we will be in good business. Be good business. So let me quickly do this. Make sure this inner portion is weighted. make sure there are no black spots or missing vertices with weight, because that will be a huge issue within Unity. And there we go. If I give this a rotate, it doesn't look the greatest because I didn't fix up the shoulder, but you get the idea. So now if I copy this weight over to the other arm, let's start with the forearm wear. And just a reminder, if I rotate the elbow, everything will be rotated with the mesh. So let's go down to forearm wear, copy that over, let's go into elbow wear, copy that over, then let's go into elbow, copy this over. So now let me go to the left elbow, or excuse me, the left arm, and click on left forearm wear. And for some reason it didn't copy over. Let's see what happened here. Sometimes the mirroring can be a little finicky. Let's see if it did it now. There we go. I don't know what happened the first time, but now let's copy this over. Let me just double check. Yep, we're good here. And let me copy elbow. There we have it. And obviously you'd want to touch up this, you would want to properly weight the shoulder as well, but if you're having trouble, just follow the previous tutorial and you'll be fine. So just a quick recap of the tools that we used. We used the regular skin painter, we did the vertice selector, and we did the go through vertice tool. You can actually combine this tool and the pointer tool to select all the vertices throughout the entire mesh, and as you can see, I selected some of the back vertices, and holding control would allow you to select multiple vertices at once. As far as weighting is concerned, for the arms, you start with forearm wear, then you move up to elbow wear, then you move up to the elbow. For the legs, you'll start with knee wear too, go up to the knee wear, and finish off with the knee. Alrighty guys, I hope that seemed simple enough. I tried to boil this down and break it down piece by piece so it becomes as simplistic as possible. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know, and I will catch you guys next time.